Hi everybody, it's Nikki here and welcome to a makeup video. So today's video is going to be a look back at some of my makeup purchases of a particular product that I made in 2020. Now, hopefully by the time this video goes up, you will have seen my 2021 makeup inventory. So I do my makeup inventory every 6 months in January and then either June or July whenever I get round to it. It's a big job. It's a lot to do. And so from doing that, I can figure out, my nose is a bit shiny. Let's calm that down. Anyway. So from doing my makeup inventory, I get to see where my problem areas are in my collection and where I need to focus my project pan energy onto. And one of those big, massive areas that I think every beauty lover struggles with is eyeshadows. So what I wanted to do was go back through some of my purchases in 2020 and have a look at the eyeshadows that I have purchased in 2020, because when I look at the eyeshadow palettes that I've bought, it doesn't look like I bought many. But let's have a look. So I put them in this beautiful green makeup bag that I got for Christmas. So let's start off with just pulling them out and showing you which palettes I bought throughout the year. I can't tell you when I bought them and in what order I bought them, but they're all the ones that I bought in 2020. I have a notebook that I write down everything that I buy throughout the year, so I just had a gander through that, but I forgot to note down what months I bought them. So let's just go through it. So one of the palettes I bought was my Naked Urban Decay Naked Ultraviolet palette. I pulled this in to my 3 of a Kind project a month or two ago. I think it was over Christmas, actually, over December, and I actually got to use this twice during that month, so I had a real good play with it and I absolutely love this palette. I have absolutely no regrets at all bringing this into my collection. I love the colour combinations here. You've got the neutrals here and you've got the purples and blues over there. Love, love, love this palette. I love the Urban Decay formula. It's one of my my go-to palettes that I take on holiday with me. So I always figure if you're going to take a palette on holiday with you, it's because you know you can rely on it. You know you can make a real good look out of it. You don't have to fiddle about with it and fuss about with it and go to something else in your collection to make it work. I figure if you're willing to take a palette on holiday, it's going to be one of your favorites or one of your ones that you can rely on the most. And I always tend to end up taking an Urban Decay palette with me. So yeah, I absolutely love this. No regrets buying this whatsoever. Very, very happy that I made the splurge out for this one. I am thinking of possibly splurging out on the Honey palette this year. I've been having my eye on it since it came out. I can't remember when the Honey palette came out. Was it 2019 or early 2020? I can't remember. But the Honey palette has had my eye for quite some time. It's just, obviously, it's a bit more of a splurge for me. It's closer to £35–40 worth of palette for me. So it's a lot of money. So they are kind of a treat for me to buy. But I have had my eye on the Honey one. So yes, no regrets at all for that one. One that I can blame my daughter on me purchasing is the I Heart Revolution Coffee palette. Now, when I first saw these come out, I took one look at the packaging and I was like, yeah, not for me, no. So I didn't even look inside. And then my daughter was talking to me one day on the phone, and she said, oh, I went into Superdrug today and I saw this beautiful palette. It's the I Heart Revolution coffee palette. It's absolutely stunning. The colours are beautiful. And I almost bought it. And I said to her, well, why didn't you? And she said, well, I'd already spent a lot of money already. So I decided not to pick it up. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat her. So I went online and I had a look at this palette. And I bought it for her. And when I got it home, because I had it delivered to the house, I took a look at the inside of the palette. And I was like, oh, wow. These colours are so me. I love these dusky pinks and these beautiful like warm browns, and they're just, these colours are so up my street. They're so beautiful, and I just, oh, this mossy sort of greeny brown is just, oh, love these colours. So I said to Rowena, I've got you this palette, when can you come over and collect it? And she was, oh, thank you so much, swatch it for me so I can see the swatches. And I was like, oh, what? So I swatched it for her and sent her the pictures. And as I'm swatching it, I was like, oh, now I really need to buy this palette. So I actually went and ordered myself one. So I blame my daughter for it. She was the one who brought my eye to it, because as I say, when I originally saw these packaging on these palettes, I was like, yeah, not for me. I still don't like the packaging. The packaging just looks cheesy to me. I don't like it. But the products inside is what counts, and I absolutely love this palette. Beautiful, beautiful palette. It's the I Heart Coffee palette. Another palette that I have no regrets buying is the Makeup Revolution Rainbow palette. And this one I love the packaging of. That's so stunning. And then the product inside is just to die for. These beautiful big bright colours are also up my alley. So it's either muted colours or big bright colours. Let's face it, any bloody colour there is, I'm happy to put on my eyes. So yeah, I absolutely love this palette. I love the way that it's set out. I feel like if you go down the column of 3, then each of these columns is a look. So if you weren't sure on how to play with bright colours, this palette is beautifully set out so that you could create a look very easily with it. Again, I love the formula. I love the colour combinations you create with this palette. I have absolutely no regrets whatsoever. Another palette that I absolutely love is my I Heart Revolution Heartbreaker palette in the shade Lucky. So it is all these beautiful heart-shaped pans, and all in green shades. So we have some beautiful shimmery greens here. We have this light shimmery green, and then we have this muted yellow, like mustardy yellow, and then this dark brown down here. I love green. Green is my favourite colour, so to have a whole palette completely given to green eyeshadows, yes please. I really like this little palette. It's a very simple, quick and easy palette for me to put an eye look together. I absolutely love this green for an inner corner highlight. It really pops on the eyes. Yeah, I really like it. I like having the brown to darken up the outside of the crease instead of having a black. I think that was a brilliant addition to this palette, having that brown there. I'm a little bit like unsure about this shade here because it borders along the sides of like a bluey green, and I feel like I would have preferred a much more greener green, like a yellow green rather than a bluey green. But yeah, I absolutely love this little palette. It's so tiny and so cute, and again, you know, just so easy to use. I absolutely love it. And I blame Charlotte for the next purchase as well, have another of the Heartbreak palettes by I Heart Revolution. So it looks like this. This one is in the shade range Majestic. And the reason why I blame Charlotte for me purchasing this one is because for Christmas last year, 2020, Charlotte and I agreed to make each other a 12-day advent calendar for each other. And we were filling our products with our calendar with part makeup and part bookish products. So I was putting together Charlotte's advent calendar, and one of the last items to arrive was a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. And when I went to put it in the box that I was sending it to her in, I was using one of my Fairy Loot boxes. It wouldn't quite fit. So I had to do a little bit of like juggling around, like shifting around of items in the box. And I had to take one of the items out of the box because it just wouldn't fit in. The last item that I bought, the big item, I still wanted to put that in the box, but the item that I took out, I could give to her as an actual Christmas present. It was a bit special. And so I decided to give her that as a Christmas present instead of the advent calendar present. So I had to quickly nip out and go and purchase her something else to put in to replace that product that I'd removed. And I nipped into Superdrug and I thought, I might buy her a little palette, a 9-pan palette. And there'll be a reason why. You may have already seen the reason why. But if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you'll soon find out. But yeah, I picked her up this little palette, and as I'm walking to the till to pay for it, I'm looking at these colours going, I really like this palette. It's really, really pretty. And then I thought, they are on a 3 for 2 offer at the moment. So I went back and I picked up myself one. And something else because it was 3 for 2. So I got something for free as well. So I do blame Charlotte for this one, even though she didn't make me buy it. I was buying one for her and I fell in love with the colours, so I bought one for myself as well. No regrets. So yes, we have that one. But I am going to talk about one palette that I did buy and I do regret purchasing it. And it is this one. It's my Revolution Pro Ultimate Eye Look palette in the So Jaded combination. So it's still in its packaging because I wanted to protect this beautiful gem thing on the front, and the colours inside look like this. And if you've seen my January update for my 3 of a Kind Project Pam, or was it my December update? It might have been my December update. For 3 of a Kind project, you will see that this was in my December 3 of a Kind, and I didn't like it. It was such a hassle to play with. I had so many issues using this palette that I just don't have the time of day. When I have this green eyeshadow palette that I absolutely love, I had no problems with, it applied well, I really enjoyed it. And then I have this palette. No, I don't have time for this. I'm not going to mess about with this. So this one is actually being decluttered. And it's a shame because I think I bought this about middle of the year, if I remember rightly. So yeah, it's only 6 months old in my collection and it is already leaving my collection. It is being decluttered because I do not have time for this. And the hard work that I have to do to make this work on my eyes. So we have one declutter out of all the palettes that I bought in 2020, sorry. Now the next 3 palettes were all gifts that I got for Christmas or through the advent calendar that Charlotte made for me. So let's start with the items from the advent calendar. So one of the items that she put in that advent calendar is this Wet n Wild quad, and it's in the shade Petalette. So it is all these beautiful, like mauvey, purpley kind of colours. Absolutely my colours. I absolutely love these shades. They're so pretty. This transition colour, I can see myself using that an awful lot. This could be like a mini baby pan that palette for future. I know I panned that palette. I know I used a Trio Wet n Wild palette in the past as my baby pan that palette, and I thoroughly enjoyed using that. So I can definitely see myself putting this as a baby pan that palette maybe in a year or two's time, but I haven't even opened it yet because I'm waiting for the first time I get to use this, that excitement of opening it up and having a play. So yes, that's that one. So the next palette that I received in my advent calendar from Charlotte was this one, and it is the Mad Beauty Disney Villains eyeshadow palette. There is my wonderful Ursula. And then inside looks like this. So we've got some stunning colours in here. As you can see, I've swatched a couple. But we have these beautiful neutrals down here and a black. And then we have some a deep red as well. And then these beautiful 6 shimmers here. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous, so pretty. Cannot wait to have a play of this. This will probably be going into my 3 of a kind project at some point. That's not a project pan, it is just a sort of like a use project. So yeah, definitely cannot wait to have a play with this coming very soon. So yes, I got that one. So no regrets, very grateful to receive these 2 palettes from Charlotte. Definitely can see myself using these and they will be staying in my collection. And then the final palette that I received in 2020 was this reflective one. So you see my camera there. So it is the number 7 Ruby Slippers Mini Eye Palette. It came in, funnily enough, this little bag from number 7 from Boots. It was part of my Christmas present that my husband bought me on my orders, bless him. And this beautiful little palette has got these gorgeous shades in. Only the brown is a matte. These 3 are all shimmers, but I cannot wait to have a play. I really cannot wait to play with this one. The colours are just so beautiful. I will say that this palette looks very similar to this palette, which looks very similar to this palette. So I will say that these 3 palettes all have very similar sort of pinky brown kind of vibes to them, but I don't regret a single one of them. I love these colours and I will definitely enjoy playing with all of them. So out of all the palettes that I got in 2020, either that I bought myself or that I was gifted, I received 9 palettes into my collection. Now I am decluttering this one, so that leaves 8 palettes that have come into my collection in 2020, and that equates to 86 new pans of eyeshadow into my makeup inventory. So that's why I count eyeshadow pans and not necessarily eyeshadow palettes. So I know it seems like a lot of work to count my eyeshadow pans in my collection for my makeup inventory, but this is the reason why I do it. 8 palettes sounds fair dues. That's like less than 1 a month. But when you equate that to 86 pans of eyeshadow, and I can tell you that I didn't use up a single eyeshadow in 2020. That's that means there's an issue. That means there's a serious problem. I come close to using up a whole eyeshadow. In 2020, I had the cream shade that was in my Avon Quad, that was in my Pan That Palette Panning Solitaire project. Came very close to finishing that one, but I didn't finish it. So I used no eyeshadows up in 2020, but I brought 86 new eyeshadow pans into my collection. So I know I said that I have my eye on the Urban Decay Honey palette, and I really do love the colours in that palette. But I am going to give myself a challenge. Now, you've all seen, hopefully, fingers crossed, you've all seen that I am partaking in the Pantastic Ladies Pan That Palette theme for this year, which is Tiny Pans. And in that, I have a 12 pan eyeshadow palette. It's only a small one, and there's only 2.4 grams in the whole palette. So it is doable. It really is doable. So I'm going to set myself this challenge. If I finish the whole palette that is in my Pan That palette this year, then I am going to treat myself for Christmas the Honey palette from Urban Decay. So I have until Christmas to pan my palette. If I achieve that, then I can buy the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette. And for the rest of the year, I'm not allowed to buy any more eyeshadows. I'm on a no buy for eyeshadows now, and I have my challenge. So that's why I wanted to do this video, to show you the palettes that I brought into my collection in 2020, but also to give myself this push that I need. Stop buying eyeshadow palettes and start using up eyeshadow palettes. If I cannot use a mini eyeshadow palette that has 2.4 grams of eyeshadow in 1 year, then I shouldn't be buying new palettes, because this big palette brings in 3, 6, 12 eyeshadows, a total of about 24, 30 grams worth of product. So, you know, this palette is worth 10 times more than the mini eyeshadow palette that I've got in my project pan. So yes, that is my challenge to myself. I'm on a no buy for eyeshadow palettes for the rest of 2021, and only if I can completely pan, and that means it's finished, there is no eyeshadow left in that palette at all before Christmas, then I can purchase the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette for myself as a treat. So that is it. That is my video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a look and see if you can remember how many palettes you've brought in throughout the year, and just see how many eyeshadows you've brought into your collection, and yeah, give yourself a shock as well. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.